Good afternoon. I'm Courtney Ennis of the Executive Education Department at the Robbins School of Business of the University of Richmond. I'm here today with Professor Roger Schnorbus to discuss the subject of innovation management, specifically the two-day course he'll be offering on May 5th and 6th of this year. Roger, welcome.
Courtney, good afternoon. Courtney, this is the fourth year that we've had offered this program. And in the previous years, we got into a discussion of what innovation is, and basically what we're talking about is innovation is a process. And it's a process in most cases that leads to, let's say, the introduction of a new product, a change in the supply chain, a change in social media, whatever. And that process consists of distinct steps, idea generation, idea screening, idea implementation. But before all of that, we have a sound business strategy, and so companies really have to have this business strategy which says that, hey, they're going to innovate. So in our program, in our two-day program, we start off with what innovation is. We get into a discussion of disruptive innovation, but then we focus our attention on the study of innovation in leading companies. And we start with the company that I worked for 30 years, Campbell Soup. And specifically the success Campbell had in introducing new products using an innovation process. And I was involved in that as Vice President of Product Development. What I saw during my tenure there, my 8-year tenure, was that we led new product introductions in the United States in our prepared food category. And so we get into, again, the discussion of what Campbell did in terms of introducing new products and their innovative efforts. We then switch over into discussions of what Whirlpool did in the early 2000s in reinventing their company and becoming very innovative. We then get into Procter Gamble. We talked about Procter Gamble. We get into what they did. Specifically, one of the big things they did in the mid-2000s, in 2005, essentially started a thing called the Connect and Development Program, which basically resulted in screening ideas from outside, working with suppliers and vendors to take their ideas and commercialize new products. So we get into that discussion. And day two, then we switch over and we look at the innovation efforts in companies like Apple and Google. And then at the end of day two, what we do is we look at managing innovation in the firms that are present during the program. And we offer ideas. We get into a discussion of this thing called the innovation value chain. And so how to bring innovation in your firm, how to change your firm, how to reinvent your firm, whether that be from a new product standpoint, whether that be from a supply chain standpoint, looking at marketing or whatever. Lastly, Courtney, in this year's program, we spent some time talking about Amazon and the innovation efforts at Amazon.
And why are you adding Amazon this year? Can you tell me what the relevance of that organization is?
You know, Courtney, Amazon is an amazing company. Fortune magazine, on a yearly basis, rates the most innovative companies in the world. So this is a global basis. And they look at the top 100 innovative companies. And this year, or I should say in 2013, of the 100 companies surveyed, 47 of those were U.S. companies. And the leading large U.S. company from an innovation standpoint in ranking was Amazon, which ranked seventh out of 100. Interestingly, Procter Gamble ranked 30th, Google 47th, Apple in the 60s, and Campbell Soup, my alma mater, 82. All great innovative companies. Why study Amazon? Why look at Amazon closely? Well, you know, in early December, 60 Minutes did a segment on Amazon, and they interviewed Jeff Bezos, the founder, CEO of Amazon, and that interview was all about, hey, what's Amazon all about? And what Bezos talked about was essentially their innovative efforts, their strategy, and what they're doing to stay ahead of the game. And that was a very, very insightful interview because Bezos talked about the key components of innovation at Amazon. Number one, working closely with the consumer. Number two, finding out and being proactive in terms of improving products and services for the consumer. And so what Amazon has done is really forward think and go forward and look at, hey, what the consumer wants in the future. So it's a long-term effort. Interestingly, Courtney, Amazon is not a great profitable company. I mean, compared to Apple, for example, Apple makes more money in a week than Amazon makes in a year. And so this is kind of interesting from a strategic standpoint, how a company can grow its share price so quickly and not have the profitability focus that other companies have. So Amazon is worth studying. Interestingly, during that interview with Bezos, most of the discussion that followed that interview was about the drone concept that Amazon is trying to pioneer, i.e. delivering packages to people's doorsteps via helicopter. And I think the show kind of got a lot of criticism because of the fact that so much time and so much discussion was spent on that. But that wasn't the point. The point in that whole interview was that Bezos is constantly looking at, and Amazon is constantly looking at, ways to improve and taking a long-term focus.
And why has innovation become such a hot topic in today's business world?
Innovation in 2014 is just a huge topic, and it's a huge topic because Bloomberg did a recent study, and what they showed was that in 1980, Fortune 500 makeup, they looked at that makeup of the companies in 1980, and in 1993, what they reported was that 1/3 of the Fortune 500 companies were no longer in existence. Now that's amazing. 1/3 of Fortune 500 not in existence in 13 years. And so when we say not in existence, we're talking about the fact that, hey, the businesses were acquired, they were spun off, they dissolved, or whatever. They went out of business. I mean, if we come back and look at 2012, Kodak, a giant, the people who invented digital photography going bankrupt, going out of business. How does that happen? Well, Courtney, it happens because companies don't focus on the long term. They don't focus on the fact that their services and the products they're offering could be substituted for. And when we look at where we are right now, we look at technology as a driver, and that's the single most thing that's driving what's going to happen to companies in the future, the reaction to technology. And so what do I mean by that? I mean, we have this thing called the cell phone now, and the cell phone has changed lives in the last 5 years, smartphones. And what's going to happen in the years ahead? Well, if you're a business and you haven't looked at that cell phone in terms of impacting your business, then you could be in trouble. Or if you haven't looked at technology as not impacting your business, then you could be in trouble. So why is innovation important? Innovation is important because, hey, technology is driving rapid change. And what you have to do is be prepared for that change.
And can you give us more specifics on who should attend the course and how to register?
Our 2-day course, Courtney, in May, it is open to a good cross-section of executives. In past sessions, we've had CEOs, we've had chief innovation officers, we've had vice presidents of marketing, we've had brand managers, we have had heads of logistics and whatever. So my thought would be that in terms of attendance here, people attending, anybody who is involved in the innovation effort in a firm. And so it's kind of wide open, but I think that what we've seen in the past 3 years is that the attendance has been strong, and we've had companies like from Altria, representatives from Altria, we've had representatives from Midwest-Vaco, Genworth, CarMax, the Luck companies. And when you get these folks together, when you get these executives together and you talk about innovation, and they talk about their frustrations, but they talk about their wins, they talk about their successes. And when you put that all together and you mesh that all together, what happens is, I think, some very, very exciting discussions. So again, this is kind of wide open to people involved in innovation. And I think we can put a website up on the screen here to show reviewers some other things. And we've also done a previous YouTube video that gives more information about the session. So that's it. Courtney, I think that, again, this would be well worth attendance for anybody involved in innovation.
Well, thank you, Roger. We look forward to your course in May.
Thank you, Courtney.